I have a mental block about cleaning cast iron pans, and I thought I wanted to share a little bit about that with you, and it made me think about the fact that what we cook with is just as important as the food that we're putting in our body. So I've got a couple different pots and pans here that I want to talk to you about. Above all else though, if you take nothing else away from this, if you have older pans and pots or anything that was kind of inexpensive, it's time to get rid of those. All of the non-stick materials, you know, were banned with the PFOS and PFOA in Europe back in 2008. That's probably something that, even though they're talking about some new technology and things that are available here, anytime those things are manufactured with chemicals or through a process that is beyond something just more simple, it's just like when we're reading ingredients, you're gonna wanna clear those things out. They have things in them and they've been processed in a way that just isn't health promoting and has chemicals that actually cause issues for us. So anything cheap, old, let's go ahead and get those out. In terms of looking at what you want to choose, you do want to pay attention to how something was made. And so read up on the manufacturer and make sure that you're comfortable with the simplicity, really, and the quality of what you're going to be cooking with. And you have to think, heat typically releases things, right? So when you apply heat to these, whether it be for a short period like eggs or something longer like soup, you're going to want to think about what the possible impact of heating that is on your body. Again, the simpler, the better. And as I mentioned earlier, anything with Teflon, I mean, these are chemicals that have been proven to cause issues with cancer and liver and autoimmune diseases in the people that were manufacturing them and then the people that were using them. And so that's something you definitely want to take out. And you want to really think about, like, if that manufacturing process led to that, how can I bring myself back to something just a little bit more simple? The cast iron would probably be a good place to start. So chefs love this because it's super durable, and this is a tiny one made by Lodge. I like them also because they're super inexpensive and they're awesome for camping, or right now in a pandemic, apparently dish soap and dish detergent is really difficult to find. So all you need to clean this is, after you're done, you take this chain meal and you just make sure that with just water, shouldn't have soap. And if you accidentally put soap in it, which I've done, it's okay. You just want to make sure you rinse it. You just scrub out all of the stuff. You put this right back on top of the stove, heat it up, and once it's not too hot anymore, you take a little bit of oil and a paper towel, and that's the seasoning process. And over time, these become incredibly non-stick, which is fantastic, but it does take a little bit of time. Okay, you don't want to cook things that are acidic, like tomatoes, things with wine in them, for long periods of time, because they'll actually leach out. Now, I do need to say that there is a contraindication with, if you have an iron, an overabundance of iron in your body, this is something that your doctors should have advised you probably not to use. There's some people who say, oh, I like to use cast iron because it helps with my iron in my blood. You know, we really aren't able to digest the iron in these pans, and there's no real, I don't think, research that supports that. So I would use it more because it's durable, it's easy to clean, and it's a natural nonstick surface. Stainless steel is another one. I like this little pot that we have. It has a glass lid. It's got a pretty heavy bottom, right? And this particular one, I think, is Calphalon. Alclad makes some pretty good ones. It's a neutral material, so it's really great in terms of the weight. The bigger pots and pans tend to get pretty heavy. Same with the stainless steel. So if you've got wrist issues, you might want to start with slightly smaller ones. There's no extra added chemicals. If you do have a nickel sensitivity, pay attention to what these were created with and the temperature in which you're cooking them with. That may become an issue. I love the Le Creuset as well. They come in all sorts of different colors and shapes. They're super pretty. These are enamel cast iron, and they are cast iron, but then they have this enamel coating. This one has been well loved. These you do not want to use the chain meal on. It's soap, water, a gentle sponge, and cleaning. And these are better for some of those longer, more acidic dishes like tomato soup and pasta sauce and soups with wine or stews with wine in them that you can use these for. And this is one particular brand. This happens to be one that I've had this for years and years. It will probably last a lifetime. They're priced with that in mind. So that these are the three that we use the most in our house. And you know, aluminum, especially those big pots, like sometimes people like to do crawfish feeds and things like that. That stuff should probably be taken out. You know, in general, with all of these, you want to make sure that you do keep them really clean, especially with the cast iron, because it is a little bit more porous. You don't want to have bacteria in your food, so keeping them clean. Try not to scratch them. So using wooden or silicone tools to stir will help keep you safe from whatever they were created with. And you know, paying attention to what you're cooking with is pretty much just as important as the food that you're putting in your body.